Mark W. here.
And Rob Bob.
Hello, Rob Bob. Today we're going to do another fun unboxing. This time we have a package from a store in the UK called the Alligator's Mouth. They are a bookstore that caters to kids and I guess teens. And I guess I'm a teen still. I can pretend I am. But we ordered some fighting fantasy game books. I thought I would give fighting fantasy a try. I used to love playing fighting fantasy games. Although lately we've only been playing Tunnels and Trolls games. These are similar. They're not... I'll start cutting this open, but they are not full RPG books, but they're like the solo adventures of Tunnels and Trolls with like a simpler system. Yeah. So let's just dig right into this. This has... I was actually... I heard of a new game book for the Fighting Fantasy series that is written by... I believe her name is, unfortunately I forget her first name. Well, I think it's Rhianna. And we're talking about Rhianna Pratchett, the daughter of the fantasy author, Terry Pratchett. So I figured that they had a bonus. This store had a bonus. If you pre-ordered that book, they would throw in some dice. I think just 2 dice. So yeah, let's do it. So I got some old favorites of mine in the Fighting Fantasy series, as well as that new one, and a couple other that I've never played before that are new to me, but some of them might be a few years old. Anyway, or several years old. So let's see, we got a bunch of books here. We got, what is this?
Paper.
Looks like there's a little, oh, it's not to be the dice.
Yeah.
Alright, would you like to crack this open while I go through the books?
In here we got 2 dice.
Let's see what these dice look like.
Maybe they'll give us an extra. We got 2.
Alright, we got our Fighting Fantasy dice.
Does
the one show an icon?
One is, yeah.
So we are a little bit having a lighting issue, but try to not block the light. Maybe that'll... Okay, let's focus on that. Cool, it has a Fighting Fantasy logo. The, I guess, most recent version of such logo. So yeah, I was kind of inspired by, I wanted to get this new book, and the kicker was, hey, we'll throw in some free dice. So I said, yeah, let's go for it. And I'll get some classics that I know of from back in the day as well. And let's go through them. So I got about 1, 2, I don't even remember, 7 or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this one is called Assassins of Alencia. I know nothing about this one. Part story, part game, you are the hero. All the Fighting Fantasy books have the phrase, you are the hero, or similar. May your stamina never fail.
Well, you are the hero.
You are the hero. That's okay. Trying to, again, accommodate the lamp that I have over here. What if I do this? Is that a little better? Probably a little better. Don't worry about that. Alright. Oh, they're all going to spill out, so I better just kind of do this, and I can toss the box, perhaps.
Yeah.
By the way, this store, it's a small bookstore, from what I gather. So if you want to support them, you can go visit them in the UK. They're in Richmond, which I believe is a borough in London. If you're ever in London and want to support a children's bookstore that has cool game books too, you can go there, or you can order from them online, of course, if you're not in that area. Anyway, let's go through this pile. We already went through this one. We glanced at it anyway. By the way, these are a little bit bigger than I used to remember as far as their dimension. They used to be kind of smaller like this, but I guess in general paperbacks are more like taller and wide than thick these days. I don't know why, but that's cool. So we have Assassins of Alencia. We have an appointment with fear. This one is a superhero themed story. By the way, these books were originally written, there's a whole bunch that are written by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. Now in the gaming hobby, there's another well-known Steve Jackson here in the US. And that is not the same Steve Jackson. So this is UK Steve Jackson as opposed to USA Steve Jackson. So Appointment with Fear. Coincidence. I guess it's a pretty generic name, sort of. Steve Jackson. Next up we have the classic Death Trap Dungeon. Where this guy is, I think he's a a boss or close to it.
He has a ton of eyes.
Yes, the better to see you with, my dear. There was actually a video game based on Death Trap Dungeon. I never played it, but from what I hear, it wasn't really that good. But it wasn't just like a port of this. It wasn't like a game book. It was kind of a, a total revamp, totally new idea based on the story of this game, I guess.
Okay.
And this is the one. This is the one by Rhianna Pratchett, daughter of famous fantasy author Terry Pratchett. And when I was looking at this, I was like, hey, cool. It's just, it'd be fun to try that out. But I heard some people say, well, the cover I don't like because it looks like a preteen girl's fantasy drawing or something. I was like, well, these are like a preteen boy's fantasy drawing, so why the heck not? So anyway, back to this one. Yeah, this is Crystal of Storms. This is the latest one, and that's kind of what inspired me to place this order in the first place. And again, the free dice were kind of the kicker. And then I decided to get a whole bunch of others as well. Ocean of Tempests. I should be reading the back of all these. Let's do that. Part story, part game, you are the hero. Are you brave enough to explore the Ocean of Tempests on the hunt for the floating Isle of Nimbus, which suddenly crashed down out of the sky? Excuse me. There will be storms and sea beasts to battle in your mission to raise Nimbus from the deep, hunted by demonic harpies, rabid rats, and even a great white squark, which I guess is not a shark. You'll need every ounce of courage and quick wits to survive. May your stamina never fail. They talk about that because stamina is your hit points attribute in this game.
So don't die.
In this system. Don't die.
May you never die.
Exactly. Anyway, next we have, did we already talk about Warlock of Firetop Mountain? No, so let's skip the return to Warlock and go right to the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. This is the very first one by both of these guys, Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. It's very well known. There was even like a board game made on this, inspired by this. It's kind of like an analog to Buffalo Castle for Tunnels and Trolls. It's like it's the early '80s. Well, Buffalo Castle was a little earlier than that, and it's it's kind of basic and it might be a little rough around the edges, but it's a classic nonetheless. What do we have here? Part story, part game. You are the hero. Are you brave enough to take on the monsters and magic of Firetop Mountain? The powerful warlock Zagor must be slain, or is it Zagor? But first you'll need to make it through the caverns of his mountain stronghold. Many adventurers before you have taken a wrong turn in the maze and perished at the hands and claws of the warlock's gruesome servants.
Okay.
So I think that's the kind of one where you have to draw out a maze and map and everything, or you'll get lost. City of Thieves.
Okay.
Ian Livingstone. Are you brave enough to walk the dangerous dark alleyways of Pork Black Sand? You must travel to the dark tower of demonic sorcerer Zanbar Bone to put an end to his reign of terror. But you'll have to make it past the bloodthirsty thieves and creeping creatures of the night who lurk in Port Black Sand first.
So it always says, are you brave enough?
Are you brave enough? No, I'm cowardly. I cannot do this. This one is probably the thickest.
And it looks
This is like a regular novel size.
like double of the other ones.
Yeah, more or less. Let's compare it to Death Trap Dungeon.
A little bit less. Or a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's not quite double, but I should be comparing spine to spine though also. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's definitely thicker.
Yes, definitely.
This one I've never played, although it's not a newer one to my understanding. But this is based on you are a Frankenstein-like creature,
Okay.
and I don't know.
You're
Not necessarily trying to kill everybody, but I don't really know much about it. Could be that you're trying to.
There on the back.
Sure, let's read what it says. Okay, are you brave enough, etc.? Are you brave enough to take on the traps and terrors of Trolltooth Pass? That sounds like a Tunnel and Trolls title.
It does.
You must stop the march to power of the evil necromancer, Zaradan Mar. You'll need to fight your way on board flying ships On board flying ship the Galley Keep if you have any hope of defeating his brand of black magic.
Alright, so it's not kill everything.
Not kill
It's
everything.
like some Frankenstein.
In fact, based on just that title, that summary, it sounds kind of like any generic fantasy story. Here we have Return to Firetop Mountain, which you're going back to Firetop Mountain, in which the first one took place, Warlock of Firetop Mountain.
Then you're supposed to...
Are you brave enough to face the monster-ridden labyrinth within Firetop Mountain? Again! Doesn't say that. The evil warlock Zagor has returned from the dead. Will revenge his ultimate aim. Have you got what it takes to track him down, defeating terrifying monsters and battling dark magic on your way?
Alright.
And that's all of them, though we did not read the backs for these three, so let's do that now. Back to Death Trap Dungeon. Are you brave enough to enter the dark and deadly Death Trap Dungeon, devised by the devilish mind of Baron Succumvit? Baron Succumvit. The Labyrinth of Fang plays host to the Trial of Champions. That's actually another title of a Final Fantasy book, Trial of Champions.
Okay.
A challenge that no adventurer has ever survived. You'll have to pit your wits against some fiendish foes if you have any hope of seeing daylight again. May your stamina never fail. Back to the Assassins of Alencia in Livingstone.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have the back that says, are you tough enough to survive attacks by Alancia's most dangerous and deadly assassins? After accepting a challenge to survive on Snake Island, a nightmare unfolds when a bounty is placed on your head. Beware the ruthless assassins hell-bent on hunting you down. But who are they? Where are they? Trust no one, Scully.
May your stamina never fail.
May your stamina never fail. Lastly, we have Appointment with Fear. Again, that's the superhero style one, which is a little bit different. Are you brave enough to step up and be the superhero that Titan City needs? The streets are overrun by unpleasant denizens of the underworld. You must capture criminals like the Scarlet Prankster, fight foes like Dr. Macabre, and track down a meeting of evil masterminds led by the shadowy Titanium Cyborg. The safety of the people is in your hands.
Okay.
So if you look at one of these, you can take a glance at the system. I'll go to one of the basic ones because some of the later ones probably have more variants. I'm just kind of speculating. But yeah, I like the way these all have really nice art. I always like the art, and I always felt like the monsters were staring at me because they're always like, who goes there? The artist usually draws them like staring right at you. So they often have a map like this. Not always, but let's adjust our focus a tiny bit. But I want to show you the basic system. It's very simple. I'll find the character sheet, and the description of the rules. See, apparently it's not in the front, or did I just skip over it? Okay, if you're new to Fighting Fantasy, it's a good idea to read the rules before you start, which appear on pages 205 to 213. So
Okay.
I don't remember them being like embedded in the middle of the game back in the day.
That's weird.
Wait, 205 to... Did I say 205?
I think it did.
205 is not...
Page?
That's a paragraph, not the page. But where's the page numbers? They don't have page numbers.
Is it at the end? No, at the bottom?
Probably at the end, you're right. 205 sounds close to the end. So we just had to do a little detective work there. Yes, this is what the character sheet looks like, basically.
You got skill and stamina.
Yeah.
And luck.
Your standard Fighting Fantasy character sheet. Again, they tend to play with the system depending on the adventure. For example, there's a kind of medieval Japan adventure in which you have, like, I think you have an honor attribute.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you almost always have skill, stamina, and luck. And that's like everything. And usually you roll 1 die plus 6 for your skill, I think.
Okay.
And then stamina is that I should probably read the rules before I comment. But stamina is basically, I think, 2 dice, and luck is similar to your skill. And the thing is, if you don't have good skill, you're going to be in trouble. So I wonder if people have devised an alternate system, maybe where you allocate points by now. It's like, well, if I rolled a 1 for my skill, now I'm going to be getting beat up heavily every combat. We can go over the system though, so I'm not speculating. And then we can call it a stream, call it a video.
Call it a video.
So this is, by the way, this might not be the same for every Fighting Fantasy book. This is just for Death Trap Dungeon, but usually they reuse the same system and sometimes they tweak it a little. So here's how to fight the creatures of Death Trap Dungeon. Before embarking on your adventure, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
Let's try that. I'm not really seeing this well on the camera. What's going on here? There we go. You have in your possession a sword and a backpack containing provisions, food, and drink for the trip. You have been preparing your quest by training yourself in sword play and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. To see how effective your preparations have been, you must use the dice to determine your skill, stamina, and luck scores. And the adventure sheet, blah, blah, blah. You have to write down your adventure sheet. To determine your initial skill, stamina, and luck scores, roll 1 die. Add 6 to this number and enter this total in the skill box on the adventure sheet.
Okay.
Roll 2. Yeah, I was kind of right. Roll both dice. Add 12. Okay, you roll for your stamina is 2 dice plus 12, and for luck it is 1 die plus 6, as with the skill.
Okay.
Skill reflects your swordsmanship and fighting expertise. The higher, the better. Stamina represents your strength. The higher your stamina, the longer you will survive. Stamina is basically your hit points in other games. And luck is like luck. But with luck, I guess we'll get to this, but you basically are asked to test your luck once in a while. And each time you do that, you have to make a luck roll. And whether you fail or succeed, your luck goes down by 1, if I recall correctly.
Or it goes up?
No, it goes down by 1.
No matter what?
Correct.
Why do you make the roll?
To see if you succeed or fail the check, basically.
Okay, so
your luck runs out over time, it's saying.
Okay.
That's the idea, anyway. Okay, you should have an eraser handy. I can jump to that. Let's go to battles first.
You play this game with only 2 dice?
Yeah. So it's a lot more stripped down than something like Tunnels and Trolls. It's just a need for 2 dice and just 3 attributes. But you have to understand Tunnels and Trolls is a full-fledged RPG system, whereas this is not. Although that said, there is an advanced fighting fantasy RPG system that I know basically nothing about. That came out years later. After the original, maybe like only 10 years or so ago, where this is like 40 years old. Or not quite that, maybe 35. Anyway, when you are told to fight a creature, you must resolve the battle as described below. First, record the creature's skill and stamina scores as given on the page in an empty monster encounter box on your adventure sheet. The combat sequence is then roll the 2 dice for the creature, add its skill score, that is its attack strength. Roll the 2 dice for yourself, add your current skill. This total is your attack strength. Whose attack strength is higher? If your attack strength is higher, you have wounded the creature. If the creature's attack strength is higher, it has wounded you. If both are the same, you have both missed. Start the next attack round.
So that's pretty similar to Tunnels and Trolls.
Right, except if you look at number 4 here, if you wounded the creature, subtract 2 points from its stamina score. So it's always 2 damage basically at a time.
Okay.
You may use luck here to do additional damage. See using luck in battles below. If the creature wounded you, subtract 2 points from your stamina score. You may use luck to minimize the damage. See below.
It says may use. Is there a reason you wouldn't?
Right, because you're using up your luck. Remember, every time you roll it, I think you subtract 1, but we'll get to that. Number 6, make the appropriate changes to either the creature's or your own stamina scores and your luck score if you used luck. And then you repeat.
Okay.
This continues until the stamina score of either you or the creature you are fighting has been reduced to 0, death. Escaping from battle. On some pages you will be given the option of escaping from a battle. You may only escape if it is offered to you on the page. If you do run away, the creature automatically scores 1 wound on you, subtract 2 stamina points as you flee. Such is the price of cowardice. You can use luck on this wound in the normal way. See using luck in battle. Here we go, luck. Sometimes you'll be told to test your luck. As you'll discover, using luck is a risky business. The way you test your luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, you have been unlucky. The consequences of being lucky or unlucky will be found on the page. 12. Why did it say 12 here? 12 each time you test your luck. It's random 12. Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1 point from your current luck score. So the more you rely on luck, the more risky it becomes.
Okay.
So you wear down your luck. Your luck runs out.
I guess you can gain it back somehow.
You may be able to, yeah. It would be dependent on the adventure, on the story. It would have to say, you can gain 2 luck for getting this lucky charm or something like that.
Okay.
But generally, it just kind of goes down forever. There's no part of the system that brings it back to its original value.
Okay.
It would have to be a special thing mentioned in the book. Using luck in battles. In battles, you always have the option of using your luck either to score a more serious wound on a creature or to minimize the effect of a wound the creature has just scored on you. So basically, you can test your luck. You can do an extra 2 damage if you pass, or if you're unlucky, then you do 1 damage less. I believe it's vice versa for if the creature wounds you. If you're lucky, restore 1 point of stamina, and so instead of doing 2, it only does 1. If you're unlucky, subtract 1 extra. And you subtract 1 luck every time. It does have a section for restoring these things. Occasionally, a page may give you instructions to alter your skill score. A magic weapon may increase your skill, but remember that only one weapon can be used at a time. You cannot claim 2 skill bonuses for carrying 2 magic swords. You can never go above your initial value. Drinking the potion of skill, we'll see later, will restore your skill to its initial level.
Could be bad then.
What could be bad?
Potion of skill.
Why?
Because it says if you have a higher luck than your usual.
This is about skill. Your skill score can never exceed its initial
not
value.
luck, I meant skill.
Yeah, but if something says you lose 3 skill, and then later on...
Yeah, it could be good though.
You want to restore that skill, you drink the potion.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So stamina, obviously you lose stamina as you get hurt, and you start the game with provisions for 10 meals. You may rest and eat only when allowed by the instructions on a page, and you may eat only 1 meal at a time. When you eat a meal, add 4 points to your stamina and deduct 1 point from your provisions. So you just have a meal and restore 4 stamina.
You don't actually need to eat, you just need to eat to heal.
Yeah, you gotta rest up and have some food, and it restores your stamina. Or you apply the piece of meat to your wound, and that heals it. You will find additions to your luck score awarded when you have been particularly lucky. Remember that, as with skill and stamina, your luck score may never exceed its initial value unless specifically instructed on the page. Drinking the potion of fortune, see later, will restore your luck to its initial value at any time and increase your initial luck by 1 point. Oh, so it actually gives you a bonus as well.
Okay.
Alright, so that's the basic idea of how the system works. We could do a quick demo. I don't have paper handy, but actually I do have a random scrap of paper if you don't mind writing on that. So the idea would be, let's do a quick demo. This is totally made up and unplanned, so it's very rough and on the fly. Alright, so let's say you have, what are we fighting? Make up a thing we're fighting.
A troll.
Troll. Troll has, it sounds pretty strong because it's a troll. So we'll say it has skill 10.
Sure.
And it has stamina 12.
Okay.
And what do we have though? This is going to be Rob Mark. So he's our brave hero, Rob Mark. He has a skill, a luck, stamina. Now let's roll up some attributes using our freshly acquired Mighty Fancy. So our skill to start with, roll 1 die.
1 die? Oh yeah, right. 1 die plus 6.
Our skill to start with is a 7. So we would get murdered in this case. So we're going to make something up. What we're going to make up is we have a cool...
We rolled a 4.
We have a cool troll slaying sword that adds 4 to our skill.
Against only trolls.
Against only trolls. Otherwise it only adds 1. But in this case we're going to have 11 functionally. So let's roll our luck next.
Alright, luck is 1 die 2.
Mm-hmm.
6.
Wow, so we have 12 luck.
We're very lucky.
And now let's roll up our stamina.
Stamina is 2.
12 plus the 2 dice, so we have 18. All right, so we're actually, I mean, given this little cheat, given this cheat we gave ourselves, we have quite an edge on them. We can use to test our luck to do extra damage or to reduce damage done to us at any time, basically. And so let's do a fight. Okay. So, would you like to roll?
So roll 1 die or 2?
1 die for the troll, or do you want to be Rob Mark or the troll?
I don't care.
Okay, you can be the troll. I'll be Rob Mark. You go first.
Troll rolls a 5, which is a number.
So you had the skill to that, and it has a 15.
So 15.
We'll have to make a little section here for our rolls. Troll and Rob Mark. So he rolled a 15. And now we use our troll slaying sword. And we get a 16.
So we win by 1 and do 2 damage.
2 damage to the troll. So we take that off like so. And it is closer to its doom, but it does not want to run away. So let's keep rolling.
Now the troll rolls a 6.
Oh, a 6.
It has to roll a 5 to tie or 6 to win.
So it rolled a 16 altogether. And Rob Mark tries to parry the blow and rolls up poorly, so rolled a 1. That is a total of 12. So the troll is going to deal 2 damage to us. But let's say, aha, I want to test my luck and not take that damage. So what I'm going to do is roll 2 dice.
Okay.
And since my luck is 12, it's actually automatic. But I have to roll 12 or less. We can go through the formality. We rolled a 7. So that costs us 1 luck point. Yeah.
If you rolled there's no catastrophic failure, right?
There's no catastrophic or critical failures or double add and roll over or anything like that.
Okay.
So we only took 1 damage because we successfully made our luck roll. In the real world, if we were playing in this situation, that probably would not have been a good use for our luck because we have the edge on him and we still have a ton of stamina, so why waste our luck until it starts to get dangerous?
Well, it's a practice.
Yeah, it's practice.
Pretend, right?
Keep going.
3.
So the troll has a 13.
And we have a 1.
Ooh, we have a 12, so we take 2 damage. This time we don't want to test our luck.
No. Okay.
Okay, let's go faster. Same time.
Roll a 5. Roll the so take 2 damage.
You should try to get troll in the view.
Roll the 5.
All right. So we don't need to write this all out. It's kind of easy to compare. So you beat Rob Mark. The troll beat Rob Mark by 1. 13 damage. We're starting to take a beating now, even though we have the edge on skill. And again, beat us by 1, so it's 2 damage. Keep going. We're going to have to use luck again.
2.
A tie.
You win.
So we have 1 edge on skill. So when we roll the same, that means his total is 12 and mine is 13. So we do 2 damage, and let's test our luck to do 1 extra damage. I'll roll this time. I think I rolled last time too. Okay, so we spend 1 luck. We rolled under 11, which was our luck at the time we rolled. And therefore we do, was it 1 extra damage or 2 actually? I don't remember.
You go with 1 damage.
Well, let's take a look. We want to get it right. So I'm flipping through the book real quick.
Looking battles.
So we do a severe blow to an extra 2 points.
Okay, so 2 damage.
The troll is down to 6. It is hurting. We are doing a lot better, but we did take more damage overall. We took 7 and the troll took 6. And we have luck on our side, so. Okay, we tied that roll. We both missed. We beat him that time. He's down to 4. It's looking good for us. It's mostly a matter of how much will it whittle us down for the next fight.
You got a 2. I got a 4.
Okay, it beat us. We got 2 damage.
2 out of frame, but it was a 2.
We might have to rest and eat one of our provisions after this. 6. That means we got it.
I mean, you're definitely going to win the roll 6.
Down to 2.
Just need to roll 1 more.
4 versus 4. So we got the edge by 1. And we have defeated the troll. And we take its loot of a big heavy club that we're too weak to lift. And 3 gold that was in its loincloth.
Yes.
And it's really smelly, so we're like, hey, I will reluctantly accept this gold. Alright, that's the gist of the Fighting Fantasy combat system. Now, some of the books, as I mentioned a little while ago, have variants. Like, I actually don't know that this one does. I'm expecting it has some kind of super power stat or something. So it does have superpowers. You can choose the different superpowers.
Could have energy blast or
Energy blast is here.
psi powers.
Enhanced technological skills. I kind of didn't start at the beginning. Super strength. So with super strength, you always fight with a skill of 13. And you also have the power to fly through the air at any speed you wish. Okay, that seems like an interesting bonus. I don't know why that would have to do with super strength. But...
Superman does that.
Superman does that? Okay.
I think he flies in his turn.
So here's an example of the character sheet for an appointment with fear. And it looks like you have hero points as well. I don't know exactly how that works. Superpower would be listed here. I guess you only have one actually. And you have skill, stamina, and luck as always. So yeah, again, the core engine is always skill, stamina, luck, and you roll dice and deal damage as such as we just demonstrated. But some of these books have a variant, you know, like a hero point, whatever that does. Should we check what hero points actually do?
They do something.
Here we go, hero points. As you defeat supervillains and solve crimes, you will be awarded hero points to be recorded on your adventure sheet. Hero points have nothing to do with your main objective, which is to locate the secret fear meeting and capture Vladimir Utashki, the titanium cyborg. Hero points are a measure of how successful you have been in your adventure. Each time you go through the book, record your hero points score and compare each adventure with the previous one. As you will find, if you try a different superpower, the solution to the book will be different. So you can rate your own performances with each of the 4 powers. Okay, so hero points don't actually affect the mechanics of the game. It's a score.
Okay,
so you can say, hey, this time I beat it with 5 hero points, this time with 10 or whatever.
Okay.
All right, so that's all of them. Shall we wrap it up?
I guess so.
So
30 minutes.
So in summary, we have a bunch of new games to play, and we like game books. We've been playing mostly Tunnels and Trolls lately, but we're going to give some Fighting Fantasy a shot.
Sometime.
Yeah. And so we have the new, beautiful over. We have the new by Rhianna Pratchett, Crystal of Storm. I'm looking forward to trying that. I heard it's pretty good. We have the original Warlock of Fire Top Mountain and a bunch of other stuff. So these are fun. They're a good way to spend some time if you, rather than browsing Twitter or something. That's what we tend to default to do these days. Facebook. Pick up a book. Of course, you can always read a real book, but these are more fun. Depending on the book. Depending on the book. Yeah, it is an opinion, to be fair. Yeah. Any last comments or questions, Mr. Robot?
Not really.
Okay. So we will play these someday.
To play some of those.
Now we could actually. One final comment is we could actually make videos of these. We have made. Anyone who knows this channel knows that we make videos of Tunnels and Trolls solos, and I always say I like the books that I can. They don't have to hold open with my hand. In other words, they kind of just sit open like, I actually have a Tunnels and Trolls book handy.
They sit open instead of you having to...
Yeah, like here's Naked Doom. You open it, because of the binding, it just staples. You can kind of just leave it open, which is much easier to make videos that way.
Yeah, but these ones, like, they like, close on you.
Right. But that said, we do have this, I did recently buy this book stand here, so we could actually use these arms like this. Hopefully not damage the book in the process. And we could actually record playthroughs of this book and similar books without the same kind of binding. You know, it has a real spine, basically, like a paperback book spine.
Not just staples. So
that could be a way we do it. All right, and yeah, again, we ordered these books, or I ordered the books from a store that was having a deal. They threw in these free dice.
That's all you need for the game.
All you need is 2 dice. It's really nice.
If you don't have any dice, then...
If you don't have any dice, well...
Too bad.
Too bad.
Download an app on your phone.
And the store, again, that I'll credit is the Alligator's Mouth. They're the ones who convinced me to buy these books because they had a cool deal going on, free die. I think the deal is expired now, so sorry about that. But it was 1 free die for the Rhianna Pratchett book and another for, I think, Return to Firetop Mountain. But yeah, it's always nice to support your local bookstore. So if you guys want to order from these guys, they do have Fighting Fantasy books.
Not exactly our local bookstore, but...
Right. It is a small bookstore. It's not Amazon. It's not Barnes & Noble. Anyway, that's all I got. Yeah, so see you around. Maybe we'll play these books soon on video.
Yeah, maybe sometime. I don't know.
Alright, so this is Mark W. See you later, guys.
And Rob Bob. Bye.
Take care. Bye. This one's upside down.